Today we have the Redmi Note 10 5G, the only phone in the Note 10 series that comes with 5G support. Xiaomi is back again to try and offer the best sub-$295 experience you can find, thanks to the Redmi Note 10 5G. Does Xiaomi do enough with one of its most recent handsets to stand apart from the competition? Or is this just another phone to have in its lineup? Let's discuss this today. Hello and welcome back to Tech Factuala, a place to go and stay up to date on the latest and popular technologies. Join the community by hitting subscribe and clicking that bell icon to be notified of our new videos. If you're smart on having the speediest cellular connection, then the Redmi Note 10 5G seems just like the way to do it. It has an integrated 5G modem with a conventional processor and a massive battery, all hidden behind an excellent 90Hz LCD screen. But of course, if you like the MIUI, then that's a bonus too. Redmi Note 10 5G design and display. Out of the box, you will not notice anything unique about the Redmi Note 10 5G, but that's the point. It's your classic combination of plastic and glass with a nice matte wrap-up on the back. Usually soft to the touch and does pretty great work at withstanding fingerprints and oils from your hands compared to the glossy finishes found on most phones these days. Within the box, you'll find the charging brick, charging cable, regulatory paperwork at the side of a clear TPU case for those who need some protection. Around the Redmi Note 10 5G edges, you'll find the power button in conjunction with the volume rocker on the right side. The power button doubles as a fingerprint scanner, which is a fabulous addition and makes it so you'll be able to unlock your phone quicker than just entering a PIN or trying to put your finger on the proper spot in another place. On the top, you'll find a 3.5mm earphone jack together with an infrared sensor on the right side, so you'll be able to control your TV and set-top box. On the bottom, we have the USB-C charging port flanked by the mono speaker and amplifier. All of this is a beautiful standard because it appears that budget phones will carry the earphone jack torch since they've been evacuated from flagship phones. After you turn on the Xiaomi Redmi Note 10 5G, you'll be greeted with a pretty basic 6.5-inch IPS LCD with decent color accuracy but is not as vibrant as other options. But the phone does have some hidden features that you'll have to turn on, and that's the 90Hz refresh rate. Except for a handful of devices, a 90Hz refresh rate is becoming the new industry standard across, moving away from the 60Hz that they've had for years now. It's great to see improvements like this arrive on just about every Android phone and is not just reserved for flagship or mid-range devices. But what makes this device stand out compared to other gadgets? With speedier refresh rates, it's a versatile refresh rate. This suggests that the device constantly adjusts between the 60Hz standard and 90Hz. Xiaomi guarantees a future update will slow things down even further because it'll include 30Hz to the mix. With a variable refresh rate, you can enjoy quicker refresh rates. It is pretty obvious when you go from a phone like the Z Fold 2 or OnePlus 9 and switch to a device using a lower refresh rate. So I quickly hopped into the settings and empowered a speedier refresh rate. But I was welcomed with a stuttery mess that made my eyes feel like they were trying to play traps on me. Moving between menus, opening and using different applications, and just interacting with the Redmi phone made me feel like something was up. Considering that perhaps there was just a bug in the system, I factory reset the Redmi Note 10 5G, hoping that would clear something up. But tragically, nothing changed, even on the moment go-round. It was not until Xiaomi pushed out one of its latest updates to the phone that the issues were remedied. But even then, it still does not feel as smooth as other phones with 90Hz enabled. It doesn't even feel as smooth as my iPhone 12 Pro with its 60Hz panel. Perhaps Xiaomi is still trying to dial within the variable refresh rate with this display panel, but we're hoping that it gets settled sooner instead of later. Soon, we'll be giving you the remaining information, but in the meantime, take time to like and share our video, and don't forget to hit on the subscribe button. Redmi Note 10 5G performance and battery life. MediaTek is making a big push to cut and try into the stranglehold Qualcomm has had on smartphones over the past decade. The company's latest density processors offer similar, if not improved, performance compared to Snapdragon-powered devices at the same price point. For example, the Redmi Note 10 5G has the MediaTek Dimensity 700, which helps keep the cost of phones low and adds the 5G connectivity that many folks are looking for. So, how does the Dimensity 700 stand up in day-to-day use? I was charmingly shocked to confirm that I ran into no recognizable issues other than the refresh rate problems. The Redmi Note 10 5G can stand with multitasking, rapid switching back and forth between apps, and getting a charge out of a few games when I had time to sink into Dead Cells or anything else tickled my fancy that day. As you'd expect, Xiaomi also included MIUI 12 with the Redmi Note 10 5G based on Android 11. In true MIUI fashion, it feels like a mashup of iOS and Android, particularly when you enable the control center, which is one of the quick toggles when swiping down from the right side of the status bar. It's certainly less in your face compared to the MIUI of the old days. The biggest issue I have is that there are far too many pre-installed games and apps to be found. Starting it up for the first time, you'll see much bloatware like Block Puzzle Guardian, Tidy Settle, Bubble Shooter, and even apps like LinkedIn and Facebook pre-installed. I thought we had moved away from the old days of phone makers installing a bunch of crapware onto phones, but it appears that's not the case. Of course, you can go through and uninstall the apps and games you don't want. There's not too much to write about when we talk about the battery life of Redmi Note 10 5G, other than the fact that it's pretty good. The 5000 mAh cell gives at least a day of power, usually going into the next day depending on how long you're using your phone. Instead, the biggest gripe is the 18-watt charging speed, which is the slowest offered by a Redmi Note 10 phone. So, on the one hand, we see Xiaomi pushing the limits of what new smartphones can tackle in terms of charging speeds. But on the other, it tosses a snail's pace charging rate for the Note 10 5G. With a battery as huge as this one, we wish Xiaomi would thrust the envelope even a little bit further. Redmi Note 10 5G cameras. One area where we proceed to see these budget phones miss the mark is in the camera department. The slant continues with the Redmi Note 10 5G and its triple camera cluster. Sure, 3 sensors on the back are featured by the same 48-megapixel lens found on the non-5G adaptation of the Redmi Note 10. But you moreover have the pleasure of using a 2-megapixel macro and a 2-megapixel depth sensor. But as we continue to see time once more, these extra lenses are nothing more than spec sheet stuffers and aren't valuable. In wide daylight with the sun sparkling, you'll get a few lovely, good-looking pictures. The lens 48-megapixel is serviceable by most accounts and can tackle almost everything you wish it to, provided you have sufficient light. But as soon as possible you take away that great lighting, you're aiming to be woefully disappointed. It's just like the phones of the old days, where the cameras were used in any conditions with great lighting around you. We wish this slant would come close, but tragically it is unlikely to do so because it is all about marketing and less about giving a strong camera cluster. The Redmi Note 10 5G is interesting due to its 5G connectivity and strong performance. The variable refresh rate is a decent touch even if you take out my experiences with stammers. And the Dimensity 700 can handle most of what you might throw at it. Even battery life is aiming to be excellent, much appreciated to the Xiaomi. That's everything we've got for you today. Refer to our list of best technologies and gadgets, making sure that you choose a great one. If Xiaomi Redmi Note 10 already hooked your interest, share it with us in the comment section below. Check out the rest of our videos on our YouTube channel named Tech Factuala, and we'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching, bye for now.